explain them to our children so they can tell their children. This is handing over culture, handing over the history of a people to the next generation. A people who are proud of their ancestry, proud of themselves, proud of who they are. Let's think as Africans. Let's try to understand things as Africans. Let's look back at rebuilding and reviving the African culture, the African way of life, rebuilding the values and value systems, the language, looking at African spirituality in all its confines. It's time for us to rebuild Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to African Consciousness. We can at least try to see that we start the teaching of traditional languages in primary schools. When these things restart, children it will look funny, it will look somehow to some, but that will be the foundation. We start teaching traditional languages, we start teaching cultures, we start rebuilding those gaps where there were breaks in between. You see, so there is a value here, there's a value here, and in the middle there was a chain, something that held it together. Those breaks in society, we bridge those values together and link them. We bridge them together and link them. We bridge them together and link them. This is where your language meets your culture. This is where your culture and spirituality gets mixed up. This is where your spirituality and your economic life get linked. This is where your economic life meets with your physical state of mind. All these things, we bridge the gaps. When we do this, it will look funny, strange, and hard work. But by the time the first generation that goes through this training comes of age, there would have been enough seed sown that they will start doing more research on things that have passed. What happened to oral tradition? This used to be kept and performed, especially by the chief priests. They would tell you the histories and the stories of their great-grandfathers, their great-fathers, their ancestors and all that, stories of healers, stories of great warriors, stories of heroes and myths and stuff like that, and realities. They would tell you all those things. Tell you about the herbs, about medicine and all that. Everything put together. It used to be in the hands of the priests. These are the people who will explain the mind of the gods. What do we know today? Now, I am from Cameroon, and let me ask this specifically to my brothers from Cameroon who know of what we called back in local conversation, we call they say Sentona, where there is this belief that there are some people who are spiritually strong and they know what to do in such a way that if you owe them and you do not want to pay, if you're trying to cheat and to display injustice, if these people are consulted, there are things they will do. There are leaves they will put together. There are some incantations they will do. And lightning and thunder will work together and hit the person who is trying to perpetrate that evil wherever he is on this earth. Was this true? Did it happen before? And if it did, what has happened to that knowledge? Those great medicine men of old who knew different types of leaves and what to do to cure certain ailments, where are they today? What has happened to the knowledge? Have these things been passed down to the new generation? Question. If we lose those things, we are losing our history. That's the truth. If we lose them, we are losing our history. We need to go back, bring them out, look into them, explain them to our children, so they can tell their children. This is handing over culture, handing over the history of a people to the next generation. A people who are proud of their ancestry, proud of themselves, proud of who they are. Today, the African is not proud at all of himself. Very few Africans are proud of who they are. Very few. In so many areas. It's sad to say. Look at our men. Look at our women. Out of 10 women you meet across the street. I live in Dubai, and if you meet 10 African sisters, 10 African sisters, 8 of them are wearing wigs. Why? Why are you wearing wigs? Don't you have hair? Don't you have your own hair that you can arrange in such a way that you can make other people to be jealous of your kind of hair, and they would want to make their hair look like yours? Well, they will tell you the Afro hair is difficult to maintain, the Afro hair is this, the Afro hair is that. I understand. It's difficult because all the focus had been on the production of hair creams to help make the life of the Westerner easier. No one thought of us. So, the past is the past. You all went over 2 weeks. But sisters, and to those brothers who are also putting their hair into different conditions, it's time for us to go back into ourselves. Take off these wigs, drop them on the side. Nurture your hair, use the right products that can help to boost hair production. Arrange your hair and look good like an African. We need to start looking at the world from the eyeglasses of an African. Look at the world from the perspective of an African. The Chinese, everything they say, they see, they do it from the perspective of the Chinese man. Here, nothing is personal, all from the perspective of Chinese. The Indian man, the same. The Japanese, the same. They have their people and their future at heart. For us Africans, we think from the perspective of others. We wear a European hat and think with it, instead of thinking with an African hat. We want to go to school, learn, and solve problems that are found in Europe, problems that are found in America, instead of learning, studying, becoming enlightened, and then solving the problems found on the continent of Africa. This is an area where we differ a lot with the Asians. They go over to the West and study, and then go back home to develop their place. We need to do this. We can start somewhere. It takes a lot, but we can. Yes, we can. It's possible. It's possible. We can do it. Take a look at an area called the African traditional medicine. This area was being headed by the chief priest, as I said before, the chief priests and the priestesses and all that. They had medicine men sickness or ill health is interpreted in Africa differently from what the Westerners do. The African system of looking at healing is from a holistic perspective, considering that the man is made up of the body, soul, and spirit, and the deficiency in one part or one area of his or her life affects the other part, and this manifests physically on them. So if you find someone with an ailment, physical display symptoms, it's not just what you see there. They will want to sit down to understand what is going on with that person. This is the African perspective. Holistic treatment. When the Europeans came in, they said that system was bad, was devilish. They were using witchcraft because it was a blend of divination, there was herbalism, and there was spiritualism. So they try to know from they use their values, they use their signs and symbols to understand from the ancestors, they understand from the environment around them what must have been the cause and what are the symptoms, what is going on. Then followed by herbalism. So you have a leaf that will be able to revitalize your body. So you drink a tea, or you take you lick a mixture of leaves that have been ground together and maybe rubbed with palm oil. You're given to lick it, which reboosts your energy production in the body and causes your energy level to grow. And when that happens, the disease disappears. So the African traditional medicine looked at giving holistic treatment to Africans, as opposed to the Western perspective, whereby they identify the bacteria responsible, they spot it, they kill the bacteria or reduce it. Have you ever thought of the fact that we cannot take away the bacteria from our bodies completely? Bacteria have a role to play in our lives. Bacteria have a role to play in our lives. There is nothing we can do to take away all the bacteria. No way. Some of them are harmful, yes. When the environment where they are loses the energy and the vitality, these bacteria start feeding on that environment, on that area, and then there is an illness. But when the energy, the mind, the spirit, and the body are all entwined as one and work as one, and the aura is brightened, the bacteria, they simply stay there, stay dormant, and help in the functioning of the body. Have you asked yourself, why is it that if a person dies, despite washing and cleaning the body, wrapping it up so nicely and putting it in a tomb, airtight environment, the person still gets rotten? This is because there is bacteria in our body. So please, I think we need to revisit African traditional medicine. We can't stay back and watch the continent destroyed. We have to do something. Thank you for your time. Thank you for today. Thank you for listening to this part, getting to the end of this session. I hope you complete all the 4 series. Please do not forget, try to make sure you watch all the 4 and drop me your comments, send in your feedbacks. Stay tuned. Take care. God bless. Thank you so much.